I wanted to come and talk real quick. Not that it's gonna change any of the behaviors of the psychotic, obsessed um, idiots that clearly are rookies. But what I wanted to come and talk about so that I can educate all of you guys, and goodness gracious, I mean, my God, this has been going on for years, and it's been kind of in circulating the interwebs. Um, it's been kind of in circulating the internet for the longest. In particular, the spiritual community, because there's a lot of people out here that really don't know anything about manifesting magic. And, for the Christians out there, listen, magic is everywhere. God is magic, even your God that you serve. So let's not even go there, okay? Before we even get started with this discussion. So I wanted to tell these people, they are on here all day, every day, being as malignant as possible, trying to make it look like using, again, cyber witchcraft, which would be, hold on. I think the last time I searched for, because AI, yeah, this is how AI feels about what a lot of these cyber witches are doing. What it says is the same exact thing that it said the last time. In reality, the dark web possesses no supernatural or magical properties. It is simply a hidden layer of the internet used for anonymous communication, requiring specialized software like the Tor browser. However, it frequently becomes the setting for modern urban legends, cyber witchcraft, and occult marketplaces. Okay. Occult marketplaces and scams. Okay. Well, first of all, it says the mythology and intersection of the dark web and magical properties can be categorized into three distinct concepts: occult marketplaces and scams, which is online vendors on hidden networks frequently claim to sell spells, curses, voodoo, or ritual services. However, experts in digital safety and occult research emphasize that these offerings are predominantly scams. Sellers exploit the secretive, mysterious reputation of the dark web to market forbidden services, charging high prices in cryptocurrency for entirely fictional rituals or placebo effects. Number two, cyber magic and digital witchcraft. Within certain online subcultures, the digital realm itself is treated as a magical environment. Practitioners engage in cyber witchcraft, which involves casting digital protection spells or cybersecurity, which actually, um, if you get a real witch, can definitely, uh, yeah, can because I've been working on that myself. Using online communities, forums, and encrypted platforms as modern day globe spanning covens to connect practitioners across vast distances, and treating algorithms, data tracking, and virtual interactions as forces to be navigated, shielded from, or magically manipulated. Number three, pop culture and role playing lore. The dark web often features as a trope in fantasy and horror media, such as Madge, the Ascension, or The Magicians, where it is portrayed as a digital back alley where awakened beings, sorcerers, and demon hunters gossip, buy enchanted items, and trade digital grimoires. In these fictional contexts, It acts as a modern replacement for secretive underground occult networks. If you are looking to research the real world uses of the dark web, such as privacy protection, journalism, and cybersecurity, you can explore the educational overview at Deep Strike. However, it said something else about that because that's the search term that I used. I don't know why AI changed it. Let me see if I still got it because I actually screenshotted it. I actually, if you guys remember, I shared it to my community. Wow. Let me go to screenshots and see if I still have it. What it said is that ultimately any association between the dark web and magic is purely metaphorical, fictional, or rooted in internet subcultures rather than actual supernatural abilities. So, in other words, what I am saying is that there's a lot of rookies out there, and you can tell that they are participating in fraudulent scams and magic, especially when it comes to black magic, because it is not presented as what you would see if you were to go and look at a actual authentic um, witches channel. In fact, many of the scammers, they troll, harass, and threaten all of the witches for hire, all of us. they they do a lot, and I would never suggest getting involved with them, especially giving them your personal information. But I guess if you're doing something dirty, dirty, maybe you deserve that. I, for one, my clients come to me for, coincidentally, home manifestation, money manifestation, healing, cleansings, curse breakers, curse reversals, protection, shielding. I mean, you name it, I do it. Okay. So I don't really, and then love work. Okay. Now I wanted to talk about these scammers on here, and these people that are connected to these frauds on here. Um, it's become such a problem with people, like, especially the ones that I'm dealing with. Every single day, they are out here pulling these cyber scams and glamour and photoshopping pictures of themselves and other people and targeting people. And, to be honest with you, these are people that are not taken seriously when it comes to the occult, in particular when it comes to certain spirits and deities. Like, most of them do not move anything for those people. Um, and the reason why is because it's very disrespectful, because it's not authentic. So they come on here, they do a lot of cyberbullying. Many of them are trying to mask it with vampirism. I personally do not get down with psychic vampirism. I think that it's a scam, and I think that psychic vampirism is another word for I'm afraid to actually do real magic. Okay. I don't accredit psychic vampirism at all whatsoever, um, as opposed to real authentic manifestation. And so it's all day, every day, some kind of bull crap, and people out here mentally ill, um, you know, not really understanding. In fact, I saw something yesterday that was funny. Um, this supposed black woman in California um, that goes by the name of Blue, she's a troll, was saying something about me. It's all about her jealousy because I'm beautiful and she's not. But it's all about her jealousy, pretty much. I'm sorry if that sounded bad. I'm sorry. I'm not really looking at the chat. I'm looking at my game. Hey, we gonna keep flagging. And so she said, "Don't pay attention to any of Jamila's prophecies." I found that hilarious because guess what? I'm not a prophet. Never have I claimed to be one. I have always been a witch since I was born. I'm a witch, not a prophet. In fact, if I see something coming that I don't like, I'm able to stop it, change it, transmute it. Okay. So, got a lot of people out here that, again, some of the people that wish that they could ever compete with me, ever. And you can tell that they can't because they got a group of trolls to flag my channel, to flag my social media, which they're suffering for. Trust me on that. Um, what the hell good is saying, oh, it's a disaster coming if you can't stop it? What good is saying that? Oh, it's a comet headed towards Earth. A lot of authentic witches can stop a lot of that stuff, believe it or not. Um, Straight up and down. We can manipulate weather, we can slow down storms, we can calm storms, we can create storms. Here's the point that I'm trying to get at, though. They try to do a lot of distracting. And then also another thing, let me get into this. A psychic is not necessarily a witch. Yeah, I consider myself to be very psychic. I'm very empathic and I'm very telepathic. I guess you could say I'm a psychic witch. However, I'm a witch, so if I see something coming, I can change it. I always do. Been doing it my whole life. Okay. Here's the point that I'm getting at. It doesn't require somebody practicing authentic witchcraft. It doesn't require law of attraction. Oh, I love this subject. I hate the law of attraction. I'll work with it to the capacity to make sure that the law of attraction does not do any harm because there are a lot of people that'll try to do that in reverse. So, for example, some of these folios out here spreading rumors, trying to make people look bad. That's not authentic. I've been practicing, very successful at my business. Not going to prove that again. I thought about it, but I'm not going to prove that again. Because to be honest with you, if you were aligned to me or with me as a client, you're not going to care about dipshits on the internet. So I don't have to prove anything to you. If your ancestors are bringing you to me for help, and if your spirit team agrees with my spirit team, then it just is what it is, okay? Um, Witchcraft is not even the law of attraction. The point that I'm getting at is that even though and if you notice, they go in shifts. Oh, let me go live. Jamila, Jamila, Jamila. I'm just using myself as an example. It's not just me, because I know a lot of witches are probably dealing with it. Probably not so much on the internet. You probably got people actually doing that in your real life too. Uh, my issue came because this channel grew so fast. And if you look at my older videos, yes, this channel used to get quite a few views until it was blacklisted. And of course, people were bottom feeding off of me. People that were supposedly very powerful, bottom feeding off of me. Okay, spreading rumors, very vicious rumors. Okay, um, a witch doesn't have to do that. She doesn't. But anyway, here's the point that I'm getting at. People all day, every day. Everybody knows that these people exist. A lot of people that watch me. Okay. It's a lot of people that watch me, that watch my videos, that probably ain't going to never come to me to get a read nor to be a client. You're just watching. You may like some of the things that I say or agree with me or just enjoy my energy. But, everybody's well aware of these people, and I've never tried to hide them. Why should I have to hide somebody else's embarrassing and disgraceful behavior? you know? Um, Here's the whole thing about it. I don't have to sit here and meditate for 12 hours a day for a spell to work. Now, there has been something that has been rising lately in the spiritual community, which is called spell tampering. Okay. I would never suggest anybody do that unless you have to. Keep in mind, I am a chaos magician, and that is where I do what is necessary. Okay. But I just don't go around messing with another witch's work out of respect, okay, and autonomy. You know what I mean? I don't do stuff like that. Now, if I'm working a case, however, I might do some stuff like that, okay? But that has nothing to do with YouTube, you know? Um, Once you cast a spell or do a ritual, it's done. You don't have to keep checking it. You don't have to keep redoing it. There may be many, many, many things that you have to do, though, because I'm going to tell you something. Witch or not, no matter, you can be the most devout Christian and have somebody throw some shit at you. You can have a fellow Christian throw some shit at you. Okay? Literally, your life is torn apart. And that can be for various reasons. The things that were meant to go down, however, those are the things that are just meant to happen. Change, okay? Uprooting, things may happen, but I can promise you that a lot of the stuff that is being manipulated, you want to find out if somebody is manipulating your reality and destiny. You do. You want to know. You want to know if they are. They can do that with religion. And it's not about what God approved of in most cases. It's about that person's ability. Different people have different abilities. Okay? So, people out in social media that are constantly trying to go do and just all day long, in chat rooms, and they got secret chats that they're busybodying all day. They the ones throwing their life away. That's stupid. That's stupid. No wonder the people in their lives are actually really unhappy. You said, as a witch, I can live life. People in my life are happy. I can live life. I don't have to sit around and obsess over nothing. I do the work. I do it thoroughly. Bada boom, bada bang. I don't have to sit and focus on that. Now, if I'm burning a candle to manifest something, but I don't just do candles, and I'm not honestly, if y'all were to see my work now, you would definitely see the Native American roots the shamanism that's in my works. You would definitely see it. Am I going to show it? Nope. Do I have to show it? Nope. Okay. I don't. But, sometimes if it's a extra high flame on a candle, you want to pay attention to that. There's certain things that you may have to do on certain days. Some situations take longer to work through. Some things you have to do what they're calling spell layering. Um, I don't really call it that. I just call it the work that's involved to do it. That's why a lot of people need to realize that authentic spiritual work is not cheap. It's not. I don't, there's a lot of people that want it to be cheap, and it's not. It's not, unless you're going to do it yourself. If you're going to do it yourself, it could be cheaper. But you have to be careful, because a lot of you guys that are witches, or either you practice or you start practicing, there are certain entities that are governing or guarding over that particular aspect, which when you start opening up those doorways, that's why stuff starts coming in, especially a lot of you guys that end up having disasters, fires, and things happening. And, you know, um, it is because at some point somebody decided to forbid you from that. And you're just thinking, oh, well, I'm just trying to gain financial freedom. I just want to heal myself. I just want to feel better. I just want to defend myself. Well, guess what? The person that did that to you to begin with did not want you to do that. So that's why they were able to go in spirit and bind that particular energy to you. So it's not something to be taken lightly. But if you know what you're doing, you just know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes in magic, there can be certain things that kick back. Um, oh, goodness. It's certain things that you want to take seriously. You want to take that seriously. And see, the thing of it is that I do work for witches sometimes. Did y'all know that? And a couple of times I've gotten in trouble with that, because it seems like there was like two witches, two or three. One just recently. I've dealt with that. For some reason, I don't know why they're practicing. Maybe they weren't a witch, maybe they were just dabbling. But they'll come to me to get work done and then start trying to do work on me. That's so funny to me, y'all. I've actually had that happen. So, and you can tell that they've done it. And I'm very, very careful about male patrons of my business. I'm very, very careful of them, because what we're seeing a lot in our society is misogyny. Okay. Now, I've had male clients that are just cool and a fan, very respectful. At the end of the day, whatever it is that you're doing, I'm protected from it. I mean, down to the last millisecond. You know what I'm saying? You can be plotting something, planning something against me, and your shit gonna fall apart. It's not gonna ever work. Okay. I'm not trying to say that to like put stuff into people's heads or whatever, but you know, um, that's why they say that honesty is always the best policy. Okay. So I'm always honest and upfront with people, and I'm always fair. Okay. And it just is what it is. Okay. But I don't have to do not sit around and cast a spell and obsess over it. That's a mistake. You don't do that. You do it, it's done, and that's it. Okay. Um, and again, like I said, there are some cases and situations where other things are going to have to be done. Like I've had very hard cases to where, and I learned a lot. I like cases that force me to learn. Um, but again, it still does not take all of that. Like, in fact, what I always suggest of my clients and what I even do for myself, uh, cast it, call to your spirits, call to whatever gods that you work with, deities, if you do, whatever energies you're pulling from, do it, and it's done. Like, for example, all day, every day. Okay, I got folks that are obsessed with obsessed. They're obsessed with me, and watching me, which is weird. Be careful, you might go blind. Just trying to monitor me way too much. That's ridiculous. Stop playing with it. Stop playing. But basically, what they do is every day they're trying to vex me. Okay. And all that stuff, as if I'm not protected from vexes and hexes. Okay. And so, pretty much, it's not something that you have to just focus on all the time. In fact, there's some days to where I'll ask my spirits, any work that y'all want to suggest that I do today, anything that needs to be done today, they'll, nope, not, nope, you're good. Which has been few and far between because it's just been crazy lately, but it has nothing to do with people on the internet. Those people don't know what they're doing. They're rookies. They're trying to do cybercraft. Nobody, once you cast some, whether or not it's, you're trying to do road openers, unblockers, blockbusters, whatever it is, healings. You don't sit around and obsess about it unless it requires some kind of chant that you want to do. Then that's going to be given to you. You know what I mean? That's going to be done. But other than that, nobody's sitting around like, there's no witch that sits around and just obsesses over anything, any of the work that she does. That's not even a baby witch. That's not what we do. There may be certain things, moon or things of that nature, but otherwise it doesn't require it. That's just like Jamari's in here asking me about a person. I did a core cutting on that person 9 months ago. I don't have to sit around and obsess about that person. That situation is over. Did a core cutting and other stuff, whatever. It's no. In fact, obsession is the opposite of real magic. Don't have to sit around and obsess and meditate and, oh, I'm meditating and, oh my goodness, and I'm worried about this and I'm worried about that. No, you don't have to do that. Once it's done, it's done. And you just relax. If it's something that's time sensitive, like a court date or something like that, it, listen, especially when you're dealing with family and ancestry and things of that nature, there's no need to sit around and obsess. Now, I will tell y'all this. If there is a death plot against you, I take those kind of cases. Okay. And if somebody wants you dead, there's places that you can go for that. There's spirits that will help you with that. Okay. And it's something that you don't have to obsess about. For example, you got some crazy skank, she's trying to get you killed. She's doing death magic on you. She, wants everybody around you to turn into a maniac. I mean, she on some Amityville type shit. Like she trying to place folks under possession like it's gonna be some Ronnie DeFeo type shit. Ooh. And you know what? I've seen that shit happen. Hey, that Amityville shit, that's like pure black magic right there. That's a very interesting story. I like looking at documentaries about that, right? Um, and people again, I'm not touching that witchcraft, and then there go Ronnie DeFeo. He done blasted everybody in the damn house. You know what I'm saying? Anywho, you cast it, you work it. Sometimes you have to watch the situation. Once you have, and I'm gonna tell you something straight up and down, a lot of y'all are not gonna accept this, but if you got a death plot against you, means that you destined for a pact, baby. You need a pact. People be like, no, I ain't selling my soul to the devil. How you what? What the hell? Like I would suggest a pact. Somebody trying to kill you. Okay, I'm just yeah, because they will kill you. They will try to get you killed. They will try to sacrifice your kids. They will do stuff. And honestly, like I ain't trying to scare nobody or nothing. I'm just letting you know what's real. And it's freaking crazy. And it can be mundane. I'm not even talking about black magic. I'm talking about the mundane crap that people do. We done already talked about the horrors of some of these life insurance policies, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, protect your life. You got the right to do that. A lot of people think when it comes to stuff like that, it's just like with anybody, you know what I'm saying? If you was to slip away and shit, that might be that's your time to go. But like if you got some crazy shit going on, you can't be thinking, for me, and people can say, oh, she's not a prophet for God. I can speak for God to honestly say that God ain't with that. Because God ain't sending nobody to kill nobody. If God wants you, if that's what God want, God gonna get you. So yeah, I can say I'm a prophetess or whatever you call it. Whatever. People want to run around here and threaten and terrorize people. You ain't of God. Who you think you are? I can't. I can't with that. You know what I'm saying? No, no, no. But okay, let me get back on the subject that I'm talking about. Live life. You don't have to, like I don't have to meditate 12 hours per day. You know what I'm saying? If I'm meditating 12 hours a day, it's because I got a lot of damn clients. Because I can honestly say that if I go into a trance for your work, I could literally stay in that trance for 30 minutes to up to 2 hours. Depends on what it is that I'm doing. Can't, live streams on the internet ain't gonna take me out of that trance. They want to convince you of that. That's not real, authentic magic. It's not. And it ain't just Jamila attacking those stupid people. They be like, Jamila, you did something. No. Let me tell you something. A lot of people that practice that real, they got a serious problem with that because they be bottom feeding and stuff. And you know what? To be honest with you, can't let them do that. Because what they end up doing is making the problem worse. Wasting all that time. I've heard of people, I ain't gonna say I had because, a lot of people get triggered. I've heard of people having clients that went to somebody that didn't know what the hell they was doing for years. And guess what? The shit just got worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. you know? It's kind of difficult for folks with OCD. You got to have that under control. I'm not an OCD-ish type of person. It's a lot of people love to fill your head up with all they stuff because everybody always trying to scapegoat. Everybody always trying to take their crap out on other folks. Oh, I got a problem today. Let me try to make you worry. So I have to let my clients know that people will do that, and people will sense that because I'm gonna tell y'all something, man, straight up and down. I don't know what is up with people scapegoating people. People do that a lot. They want a scapegoat. It's crazy. And they will, energetically try to like send their problems and afflictions to you. And a lot of those people know what the hell they doing. Hey, Lenny Pretty. And you can't, no, we can't, I can't tell you the lottery numbers, hon. They have that enchanted. They been had that enchanted. Okay, go get a job and then I'll believe you. Go get a job or make some money. Okay. All right, back to what I was saying. I'm gonna give y'all an example. I just did some bond-based strong ass work. I can admit it. I can say it. Can't nobody fuck with it. It's locked and loaded. For the backbiters, the gossipers, the slanderers, I just did some truth work. Just did it. I can already tell that it's manifested because the liars are very angry. See, a lot of the times when people do stuff like that to you, especially when it comes to gossip and slander, they're doing it for another reason. Maybe they doing it because it relieves their headache that they have all day, every goddamn day. Maybe that's why they fucking do it. But guess what? Soon as you do this, soon as I do that truth work, your headache done came back, didn't it? So, that's just what that is. I did some truth work for people to know the truth. Everybody know the truth. Everybody know who the lies is. Everybody know what exactly people lied about because I kept doing it. That's how I survived the whole smear campaign. Was doing work to live in the truth. and always was very abundant and rewarded because I was living within the truth, the ultimate truth, right? Even though lies were being created, people was trying to do weak ass bindings to try to bind some shit to me because again, trying to use me as a fucking scapegoat. I did some shit like I wouldn't fuck with that shit. I would not fuck with the shit that I did. And you can't fucking reverse it. You can't reverse it. You can't break it. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate that we gonna keep flagging. I do. I appreciate that. Yeah. Because it's disgusting. But what was old boy in here talking about? Flag who? You talking about old boy that just went live? Ain't nobody paying no attention to that dude, man. He is depressed and sad, and he's doing the lowest form of the low. He's lower than the low. Nobody cares about that. All his negativity is being transmuted. He can't do nothing about that. He can't. Nobody cares about that, to be honest with you. But I do think that when you are dealing with lies and slander, it is very different than if you are dealing with somebody that's trying to speak shit on you, trying to use the power of their tongue. It's the same thing, though, kind of in that same category. But you also do have to come with the truth. That's why a lot of people that be like, why are you talking about it? Because you do have to open your mouth and state the truth. You do. Otherwise, you know what I'm saying? People will be able to take from you. People will be able to, and that's gross. That's gross. Anybody that lies about things like that's a low down, dirty person that's probably sick. More than likely, they got some kind of fucking sickness or affliction they trying to get off. I don't let it bother me. My kidneys are good. My lungs are good. My heart is good. My throat is good. Everything good. Because you know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. But anyway, I did that just recently and I ain't going to show it. I'm not going to show it. But that shit, you ain't fucking with that shit. That's some deep, deep, deep Native American shit to the point where the owls be out here communicating with me almost every damn night. Don't even play with me. Don't even play with me because I got ties with Navajo. You know what I'm saying? When they call me a hoe, what they talking about is Navajo. That's what they ain't talking about no hoe. Nah, we didn't do that in our tribe ever. So it's some, Navajo and Cherokee. It's a blend of that somewhere down my bloodline. And we are connected to the skinwalkers, and people scared as fuck of them skinwalkers, but people don't really know about them. They are actually allies. For me, I'm not gonna work with no incubus or no succubus. I'm gonna go to the skinwalkers, bro. Like, don't even play with me. And you can say, "Oh, you just an evil thing, ain't you?" It's like, but you think I care? You think I care when you doing all this stuff to hurt me? Like, why should I? You know what I'm saying? Like it be weird. It's like dealing with little children and shit. That's just like, just let me do it. Y'all ever see that Saturday Night Live? Stewart, just let me do it. No, nobody's gonna let you do that. The hell is wrong with you? Speaking of that, y'all, next time I speak on old girl, the tall, pale one, we're gonna start calling her the tall, pale one. Y'all know who I'm talking about. She reminds me of Stewart. That's her new nickname, bro. No, but seriously, ain't nobody got to sit around and obsess over that and is it going to work and da da da. They do bring that kind of energy, though. And so a lot of people, out in the spiritual community, it's been a lot of that energy floating around. That's why I be like, clear your head. What do you like to do? You know what I'm saying? Don't obsess over it and try to stay away from, like, take everything that you hear about in the spiritual community with a grain of salt. Because a lot of people will be like, well, like as far as boosters and recastings, right? I try to make my recastings as simple as possible. But like when you doing stuff like that, it's literally because the energy can die down because the energy, you know what I'm saying? Especially those of you that got people coming for your energy. It is people that do come for your energy. I don't know why anybody would deny that. Even witches, which is stupid. They act like it's open sesame on black women. No, they like you're just food. Like what? Who told you that? The movie The Matrix. Okay. You like that movie? Let me make a Matrix for you then, hun, because I can create one for you. Let's get this shit popped off real quick. But then again, it ain't just about the alchemy aspect of it or even the scientific or the elemental. It's the spiritual. So then you got people out there practicing necromancy. Then you got people playing with it, just literally playing with shit, reading books and shit, reading books and let me just try this out. You know what I'm saying? They bored. That people doing stuff just because they bored. You shouldn't do that because you never know what you gonna conjure up, and you never know what kind of protection somebody got. So, but yeah, as far as like, when I come on here, people be trying to act like, oh, I ain't got time for that. I got time. I got time to speak up for myself, and I'm going to speak up for myself. And people don't want me to speak out, but right now is the time to speak out. Because people need to know the truth. What's up with the moon right now? Oh, I ain't got my glasses out here. The hell is she doing? Oh, it's just extra big. Look weird. Like, So, it just is one of those things, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's why a lot of people's spells really don't work because it's not being released. People are just like hoarding it, hoarding it. You can't do that. You do it, you let it go. See, that's why if you are a practitioner, you're going to know the basic elements: air, fire, water, earth. And a lot of people say, oh, well, that's white people magic. What? Knowing the four basic elements, spirit is going to teach you about that. Like, I don't, whatever. Um, So just keep that in mind. You know what I'm saying? And then also it's about focus. I don't have to sit up here and go, I got to focus on this. 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 I want this. I want this. I'm going to focus on it. When it's time for you to meditate, if you follow your intuition, when it's time for you to meditate on something, okay, meditate on something. If it's something that's bothering you, if it's something that, you know what I'm saying, that you're thinking about or whatever, then deal with it. But to just sit there 24 hours a day, no, that ain't what we do. Us witches have lives. Some of us even have jobs, extra jobs that we work. I know. You trying to work you have to death. So, that's just what that is. And so, and then everybody trying to look at magic as like airstrikes and shit. Like, oh, okay, well, I'm a put this in the air and I'm gonna do this constantly. We gonna go on and siphon that then. You always constantly trying to throw some shit at me. Okay, well, let's go ahead and take that. I'll take that and I'm going to transmute it for me. So go ahead and keep wasting your fucking resources if you got some shit like that going on, straight up and fucking down. Okay? Because people be tripping, and a lot of people get very paranoid, especially if they know that they done did something they ain't supposed to fucking do. As a witch, you supposed to know how to be like, you know what? I did some shit I wasn't supposed to do. Hey, let me go ahead and just say boop, bop, boop. and bippity boop and, work with whatever spirit I got to do to cut it off and keep it fucking moving. Ain't nobody running around here, oh my God, now I'm scared. That's not how us witches fucking operate. That's not how we operate. So regardless to what people say, you know what I'm saying? You supposed to have, it's called balance. It's called balance for a reason. So like, for example, I'm about to get off of here right now in a minute. I don't think about none of the meditations, even the prayers that I do, because faith and belief is everything. And people have been trying to take away everybody's belief in everything because everybody's scared. And then we got the Molochians and shit out here. It's a lot of deep, dirty ass bullshit going on. Once you done the work, you ain't got to obsess about it. It's just like I told y'all, Moloch came to me the other night, and it wasn't my imagination because I wasn't even thinking about Moloch. He popped up and was like, I'm sorry. I was like, Moloch? He was like, yeah, it's me. I was like, what are you doing here? And then I saw Santa Martha and a couple of other my spirits, and they was like, he got something to say to you. And I did that. I got it documented. I documented it. I ain't thought about it ever since. I ain't worrying about it. Does anybody in this world have the power or the authority to force me to sacrifice anybody that I love to Moloch? No. His name is Malik too. Malik. Malik is a form of, he has another name too that he goes by. I don't deal with Moloch at all. And he know that. He knows that. And he knows better than that. He know I don't deal with him at all. Straight up and down. And I ain't even gonna lie to you. I am not opposed to, if you got problems with Moloch, call him the Zozo. And that's Pazuzu. So, because Pazuzu counteracts Moloch. So it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody trying to like, what the fuck? I ain't trying to smell the burning flesh of babies' bodies. I'm a mother. I'm a midwife. I'm a caretaker. I'm a fertility doctor. Not in the sense of, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I'm a fertility doctor, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Like what? No. Like I don't do cruel shit to little babies and little kids. No. No. Now, if you got an adversary that's like, I'm coming for your kids because I got a deal, I made a deal or whatever, it's all kind of crazy shit. It's like, how you just gonna not be able to protect your own babies? Like, think about that. Like, I got to sacrifice your kids for me to be okay. It's like, hey, bruh, I done seen many sick people like that. So you don't know who you talking to. And you sick right now. You sick right now to even come at anybody like that, because many of us, we stand guard against stuff like that. So ain't nobody worried about that. You know what I'm saying? Straight up and down. But, so that was my point that I wanted to make, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure that y'all hit that thumbs up. And I do apologize. I am gonna, but it'll be later on today because it's Monday. Happy Monday to you guys. I will be back to discuss spiritual rate. For some reason, that live has been delayed. And it has been because I've been doing some preparations and doing some things or whatever, dealing with some things. But I promise that I will come back and talk to you guys about that, because it is a lot that y'all need to know about that. And y'all need to take it seriously and stop playing around with your life. Okay? Thank you, Stevan. Thank you. We gonna keep flagging. Thank you, Lenny Pretty. And yeah. Thank you to all of y'all. I can't see the whole chat. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys later. All right. Blessings to you guys. Bye. Subscribe. Bye.